Do I have to start thinking about retirement already? What if I just wanted to do this my whole life?
I mean, you could do that.
Do heroes retire? I thought they just die.
Godfrey gives 2 pats on the shoulder and walks.
Little disclaimer that I, Mystic, am an employee of Wizards of the Coast on the D&D team.
Last time on Utopia podcast, the party, having escaped the dream realm, saving the people stuck there, releasing a great old one named Zazriel, and bringing a Rudy back to the material plane, finish up their time in the space where they entered and returned from the dream realm, and began to hit the road, deciding to go back to Flarinsia to find Argos, a god and brother to Reem, and a Rudy who's known to be around the most well-known fighter in the realm. And it's on the road that we find them.
Love it. What
Love it.
private conversations would you all like to have on the road as we time skip?
I think at some point as we
If there
start
are none, that's fine too.
trotting.
Go ahead.
Sorry. At some point as we start trotting along, Sille for a while is fumbling with something and kind of pulling, tugging, keeps walking a bit. And at one point kind of tugs so hard she bumps into Godfrey. Oh, shit. Hey.
Careful there.
Yeah, don't make this weird. Here. And we'll hand you, just off the tip of her, like, middle finger, kind of still half stuck to it, is the ring that she had picked up before we had gone into the dream.
Godfrey takes it and looks at it. Sille, I don't know lapidary. I couldn't make this into anything else, let alone make it weird. Okay, I'm just gonna keep walking to not make it weird.
Anyone else?
Seeing the dancing sword there, Morgus just goes, "My grapefruit." And he takes out the crystal orb and just...
Oh. Alright. I have that not be petrified necklace.
Well, I'm still cursed!
Petrified me not.
Wait, I'm sorry, Livy, what necklace did you say you had?
The necklace that stops me from being petrified.
The necklace that stops you from being petrified.
I don't know if it can unpetrify other people, if that's what you're
never
asking.
mind. I'll think on it.
Yeah. Sorry, I would have mentioned it before if I thought it could unpetrify God, Mashiria.
I'll think on it.
It's... You know, we faced a lot of terrible things these past few days. And yet, I am still riding high on the fact that I was right. That church is corrupt! Maybe at 69 years old, I should learn to be less petty. But I was right.
I really feel like you just look back at like Zibba and like Godfrey and Sille with just this looks of like my entire religion and belief in life has been upheavaled.
Except Godfrey's face is just a mask.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I can sense it.
Yeah.
Very sorry.
I think Morgus is looking at all of you having that look, and there's just this guy with a "that's rough, buddy" look in his eyes.
Very sorry for your shattering worldview.
Yeah, Sille looks at you,
You can only have so many breakdowns about
just
it.
slightly cocks,
And we all had our night.
like a Labrador.
Totally
Snap
over
back
it.
to the first night you slept, and no one slept, everyone just stared into the fire, completely disassociating.
Yeah.
Totally over it.
It's fine. It's weird that you'd bring it up like that again. What's that, Sille?
Wait, who's the god of frogs? I just never figured out what the frogs are about.
But you mean when we were running away from that house?
Yeah,
That
they were there.
Yeah,
I might
that
have
was
seen them a
because
few
of
times.
that was the demonic presence. It was because they were there.
Yeah, but even technically, don't demons get their power from like sort of a deity?
At least in 5e, they don't.
Where do they get
It's-
their power from?
So, above table, they like get it like devils specifically get it from souls that they make a contract with.
I think this is a specifically in character conversation.
I was totally wrong with it.
What do you mean? Out of
I think
character?
that Livy has no idea where demons or devils
No.
come from because they don't exist outside. You know, like you didn't even know they existed.
So they might. At least in the place.
I don't know. The only infernal thing when I was doing research on vampirism, sometimes they kind of came up, but I don't really know a lot about them.
Would Morgus know anything about where their power comes from?
Morgus also wouldn't know anything about demons and devils. No one here knows anything about demons and devils.
What's a devil?
Well, I mean, you do now, based on like your
Oh.
experience in game, but nothing before that. Like nothing before the weirdness with Guinevere and the towers, and that stuff.
We
If
had a
I
book at
had
one
to
point.
offer some level of conjecture on them, I don't think they're very nice.
They're very
You know,
rude.
I'd have to agree.
The
on
image
that.
Scylla is getting as everyone's talking about this, what Scylla's perception of a devil is, I think, is what most people would have thought to be like helpers and cherubs of my Sheria. And this is still continuing, is just glimpses of shattering behind her eyes.
Anyway, that's the only private conversation, Livy.
Yeah, we're totally over it.
Yes. Yeah, sorry.
Until I'm older? Reconciling?
Yeah, it's not so much a case of you getting older so much as me needing to reconcile all of this.
Is being an adult really that bad? You can give it to me straight.
I think you are old enough to hear this at this point. It's not going. It's not an age thing.
Oh, great, so I could experience this all the time. Oh,
It's always this hard, kid.
okay. Okay, life never gets easier, and you just keep doing it till you die. I'll think about that.
just kind of pats you on the other.
Be quiet.
Livy like looks back and it's like, what?
There's just a spluttering cough
Hey.
from Morgus somewhere.
Livy,
within 10 feet.
yeah, can you? Sille gestures back. I need you to take over.
No, we're good. It's fine. I'm sure we
Godfrey
will come
puts
to
a hand-
terms and reconcile eventually.
Godfrey puts a hand on Zibba's shoulder. If we make enough money, you could always go to Mentinos and just spend the rest of your days there.
Until I die.
Warm sun, sweet drinks,
Vent.
relaxation. Mentinos. I hope that's what I said the first
Listen.
time. You could always retire to Ventinos. By the love of everything holy, do not retire in Mentinos. That is a hellscape. You will leave with
But
more
Mentinos-
scars than you entered.
Listen.
Do I
life
have to
is
start
a
thinking
series
about
of-
retirement already? What if I just wanted to do this my whole life?
I think you can do that.
Listen. Seriously, life is a series of peaks and valleys. Some
Do
days
heroes
you want to
retire?
wish-
I thought they just die.
Godfrey gives
No, I
two
didn't hear
pats
that,
on the
sorry.
shoulder and walks.
Sorry, Livy, what are you saying?
I didn't hear what you said.
Right.
Right, it was an auditory processing thing here in my brain. Everything got mixed up.
I said, do heroes even retire, or do they all just die?
Depends on the hero. Depends on the person. But life
I
is a
mean,
series
the
of
only
peaks and
one I
valleys.
really heard about before this was my Siera, but she wasn't actually really a hero, and she kind of did, but kind of did die. It's all very confusing.
Godfrey wants to just do one more thing at the fire regarding the ring. Just if people see it or not. And if they, initiates a conversation. So Godfrey will have been fiddling with the ring ever since Sille gave it to him, just kind of looking it over. Godfrey typically wearing these like big, thick gloves on his hands all the time, so he can't really fit the ring on it. When we sit down, he'll look over towards Sille and say, "Did you mean for me to wear this? Is this magic?"
I thought it was. I couldn't get it to do anything. But that's maybe saying something more about me than it is about that. I thought you'd find it more useful.
Morgus, is this magic?
I can give it a look. Is this the ring that we found quite some
Yeah.
time ago?
It for sure is.
Yes.
So Sille tried to put it on and didn't attune to it, but does
Okay.
not understand.
Okay, good to know.
It is magic. You get that without a roll.
Yeah.
And you can tell Godfrey what it does, which is when you hold your breath, for as long as you can hold your breath, you're invisible.
Great for someone who doesn't breathe.
Huh.
Godfrey, you
I
might
don't
want
need
to be
to breathe.
sitting down for this.
I am sitting down
Neither
by
is
the
Godfrey.
fire.
We're not part of this conversation.
Well, take a deep breath because,
Morgus.
I'm sorry. That was insensitive. As long as you hold your breath, you can be invisible.
Mm.
So when you don't breathe, just kind of don't breathe and you can kind of
You'll even be
perceived.
more unreadable than usual.
Wah, wah.
That'll be pretty difficult to navigate on a day-by-day basis, but I suppose we should try it out. And Godfrey pulls on his glove and pulls it off. And as he pulls off the glove on his right hand, it reveals that his hand is just like covered in these old burn scars that have been there for a long time. And on his ring finger, there sits a band already on that. He kind of
Which
looks
hand?
at his hand and puts the ring on the index finger. What was that?
Left or right hand?
Right hand. The one that means that you're married. The left hand.
Left hand.
Thank you.
Left hand.
Well, no,
Take
this is
every instance of right and put it onto left. I get those two hands mixed up all the time.
I'll be blood. Was it the married hand?
It was the married hand.
That's
It's-
an interesting lore
That's the
drop
only
point.
part that's married.
What hand
It's
is
the
it?
hand.
It's the Mentinos married hand.
The
left
Mentinos
hand.
married hand.
The left hand.
You know what? I'm playing poo. They actually put it on the right hand. That's why he said that.
Yeah, Godfrey has a wedding band on, and he places the ring onto his index finger. Puts the glove back on over it.
Are you breathing?
No.
Invisible.
Oh, that's better.
Godfrey's wish of being wholly imperceivable now.
I already feel bad about saying that, so I'm going to apologize now.
I think you should.
Sorry.
What did it say? From the distance.
Oh, good, I don't have to apologize then.
All right. Morgus,
All right.
any private conversations?
I think... Morgus will, probably go to Sille at some point with his blade of grass that he kept. Sille,
Morgus.
do you remember when I was teaching you a thing or two about the workings of magic and whatnot?
Yeah. What's up?
Well, I've sort of been working on an expanding curiosity of mine, and Azrael allowed me to keep this blade of grass from the dream realm, and I've been able to bring it back here to the material plane. I'm not exactly talented with plants, but I know you are.
Certainly kill
And I was-
fewer than I do comrades.
Don't know how to respond to that, but I was thinking that if you'd like, you could help me unravel a little bit more about this plant as maybe a bit of a distraction.
I think I'd really like that, Morgus. As long as I'm not, I don't want to. And her gauntlets kind of clank and bang, and
He'll kind of reach out and just take one of your hands, and he'll put the blade of grass in it. I'll be honest, I could use some extra perspective on this, because this has to do with some of the visions I've had. And being in the dream realm gave me a bit of inspiration. But some extra perspective on it would be very helpful. So, to give you an idea of something, it's one thing to have a vision, to look through a window, but I would like to open the window. I want to go outside. I want to interact with what I see through the window. I think something about the dream realm. I remembered Arudi and Medusa's wedding. I remembered them. I remember being in that place, or in a place like it that Arudi reconstructed in the dream realm. But I want to learn a greater sense of control.
I don't know what I can help teach you about control, but I can certainly help with the tendering of the idea. Are you talking about?
I appreciate that. Oh, that was just a fluffy analogy. In sort of the technical aspects of it, with where I'm at now and my calculations and musings, is that something about the dream realm might help unlock the ability to interact with my visions in a more direct fashion. Instead of just watching something, influence it, get information more directly. And this plant, this blade of grass, is a piece of the dream realm that Zazriel allowed me to take back. But it's a fucking plant, and I can only get so far about understanding its nature. I can understand the nature of a blade of grass, perhaps I can understand something more.
All right. You all make it to Whimsten. You're able to stay a night in a warm bed if you'd like, or just continue down the road back toward Flarinsia. Either way, continue on unless anyone says otherwise, that they would like to do something while in Whimsten.
Did I get any mail?
You head into the Lying Woodpecker, and sure enough, there is one letter for you. As you read it, it just says a bunch of affirming things about your adventures. And at the end, it's signed, I miss you. And enough.
Livy has a giant blush on his cheeks. And specifically, the tips of his ears are a bright red.
Aww.
as he folds the letter very carefully and puts it back and places it in his breast pocket. Like, in here. In his jacket.
All right. You gather
How
your
did
letters.
they know where you were? Do we have mail too? Why did you want to give it? Did you tell him we were going to Whimsten?
Yeah. He said in the letters where he was going. Or like where you could like deliver the letters. At least.
But don't you remember all of those stacks of letters that Livy had on the way here?
I thought you picked those all up and... No?
Oh.
Why don't I get mail that often?
You have to send mail to receive mail.
Oh. Livy, can I send you mail? Or do you get too much mail?
No, you can send me mail. I would love to receive mail from you.
I vaguely remember on the road to Whimsten, Zibba was also writing letters to her family with like
I do
very
send letters to my
outrageous
family.
things. Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if I had sent those already or if I'd gotten returns already.
We can
How
say
would
you
they
sent
know?
them, but there's no letters waiting for you at the
How would they know where I am? I don't understand how the mail system works.
Should just maybe, something for Zibba to learn.
Okay, so have I sent the letters or do I have to send the letters? I've sent the letters?
We'll say you've sent the letters, yes.
Okay.
And as you
Get mail.
are in and you see like the postmarks and things, you all, Livy, if you share this, you let the party know that it's been 9 days since you left Whimsten.
Yeah, he'll let everyone know that. That seems like a good thing for people to know.
You mean I haven't had to do any schoolwork for 9 days? That's fantastic! Can we go back?
How about this? How about we do the fun parts of schoolwork first?
You say that every time. I'm not sure we found the fun part
No.
yet.
We'll do all the battlefields. You'll learn about all the cool heroes.
You can
How about
learn fighting in school?
Yeah,
I thought
that's
you
what I
weren't
was
allowed
trying
to
to
fight
tell
in
you.
school.
No. There's fun historical battlefields that you would really like.
Wait a minute, are you saying just learn about the fights and not actually do the fighting?
Both, actually. You would learn strategies.
But we're gonna do the
on how to
fun
better-
part first, right?
Yeah, we'll do the fun part first.
And you think the fun part is...
We're going to do the fun part for you, which is we're going to read about people and how they killed people better.
Well, I don't...
We're going to and we're going
Do
to
we always
hear
have to
about
kill
how-
people? Do they have
Or-
battles where that doesn't happen?
Yeah, actually, there were a lot of cool historical. One of my favorite was the. Is it okay if I just make up a person? People called her the Pixie Queen because she could enchant people. Basically, what she would do is
What?
before battlefields, she would enchant people so much with her words, and people would just lay down their arms.
And she
See,
came
I
up
don't
with
think
the
she
name Pixie Queen as her moniker?
No, that's what people. That's what people
an
call her.
interesting interpretation of that bit of history. As I recall, the Pixie Queen wouldn't enchant people so much they would lay down their arms, but she had a penchant for cutting off people's arms.
She... Whoa!
No,
I'm just... I should probably stop talking. I'm just screwing with it.
Why don't they teach about the Pixie Queen in schools? This sounds much better. I feel like because they're always talking about my Siera, isn't it? Yeah. It can kind of overshadow
Also
it.
because
Probably
you're
did mention it.
very young, and they want to talk, when you're younger, they talk about big things in history, things you have to know in society to function. And then as you progress through it, they talk about the weird stuff that you're like, oh my God, this is so interesting.
Oh, that's why you're the way you are. This makes a lot more sense now. The weird
Yeah,
stuff.
my mom taught me about the weird stuff first.
So you gotta do the fun stuff first. And you were having me just sitting there listening to you read out of books for how many days when we were at the... Blanking on the name. The council? What does it stand for? CC.
The court?
The court!
Court?
The court! CC! Yeah!
And just walks by.
Well, I was going to get to it anyway, but I might as well, now that we're awake.
We're probably a little behind then with 9 days. Is there nothing concerning that happened in those 9 days? No new history we need to learn about?
Everything in Whimsten seems fine. Everything at the inn is just hustling and bustling, and the city, as you walk in, they're just continuing to rebuild. Someone has even continued to dig out Morthos. You can now fully see the open air, him just hammering things as he works
He's still
in
going?
his smithy. Mm-hmm.
God bless. My Siera bless that man. Determined to do his job. Livy will bring him a water. Just in case. As they pass by, he'll just drop off a water.
You're just gonna throw it in the hole?
He'll just walk down, and he'll give him some water, and he'll be like, good job, man.
Gives you a thumbs up, puts the water down next to him, and just keeps hammering. Yeah, you have gathered your letters, you checked in on the town, everything looks great as you head on out and keep going down the road to Flarinsia.
I think
Godfrey,
Sille
you
did
really
want to inform families and just drop off the things that we had found.
Right. You're able to do that as well.
We don't have to go back, but Livy wrote a very quick just a basically note to send to Zibba's family that's she's fine, she's doing well.
Yeah.
And Zibba write 2 letters as well. 1 letter to Livy saying, "Hi, I hope you're doing well. I hope you find this letter. This letter is for you. You're the best. Keep it up, Zibba." And then write a 2nd letter. And this letter's to Godfrey says, "I am responding to the letter you once wrote me. Please send more letters. Love, Zibba."
Do you just put it in their backpacks, or do you actually give it to someone at the inn?
I give it to the inn, and I'm sure they see them right next to me, and just they hand it to them.
Yeah, they just hand them to you both.
Now, I have to ask, I imagine there's usually some kind of charge for the mail service, so is Zibba paying for this person to hand the letter to
Yeah, it's
Godfrey?
3 copper for each of them.
Okay. We'll hand the 3 copper. To be honest, though, if we're talking about the people at the end, they probably know me, and I'll hand them the 3 copper, and they'll see the person right next to me, and then just hand the copper back, and then hand them the
Yeah. Beautiful.
He also puts this in his breast pocket. He smiles a lot as he sees this.
Great. As you leave Whimsten and begin to trek the road from Whimsten to Flarinsia, you do notice an increase of the number of armored guards like official Ebcanor military knights and mounted knights, rangers with increased padding and shiny new weapons, sort of beginning to come in and out of between the cities. Is there anything y'all want to do in the 2 days journey between Whimsten and Flarinsia?
I think Morgus is going to keep making, like, he's going to continue building on the calculations and the notes and the theories and the proofs that he's been working on. And he's going to start kind of studying the nature of the dream grass.
Yeah. What are you looking for?
I think... Ooh. I don't know if Morgus has the scrying spell, but I think he would know of scrying as a magical thing that can be done. So, do you know what level the scry spell is, actually? I don't know if it's
level.
5th level. Okay, so it might actually be beyond my level to cast currently.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So I think Morgus at this stage is probably... Yeah, I can't cast a 5th level spell yet. I think I'm thinking about that scrying spell as a starting point.
Mm.
So, like, no, I don't know the spell, but maybe I'm exploring the theory behind that spell as a place to then build upon in the future.
Yeah. I think you're able to do that. The grass shimmers a little bit. It doesn't itself seem to hold magic, but you know, if/when you have the means to use the spell you're thinking of, you can learn more. So it's more of just like a meditation for Morgus staring at the grass versus like yeah. Great.
Livy's getting another... Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Livy's getting a class sheet written up specifically, like, and he's doing historical people Zibba's interested in, cool animals that she'll like. But then he's sprinkling in, like, you know, oh, but to learn this, you have to, like, for this one animal thing, you have to learn this basic math thing to be able to, like, understand that. So I guess we'll just have to talk about that for a little bit.
I feel like while we're having these class discussions, I feel like Zibba's also like wanting to write you more letters, and in the letters she's writing you about the stuff that you're teaching her in class, like you weren't there the whole time, and then randomly with these math things sprinkling in her like weirdly acquired carpentry knowledge just into the letters, and then trying to give you copper every single time she hands you the letter. And then while she's writing the letters, she's probably asking you for help on like the grammar to make it like maybe like, is this written right? Even ask for your input on the letter before she gives you the letter.
He is so unbelievable happy, and he doesn't give back the copper. He puts a little bag that has like rainy day for Zibba, and he puts all the copper in like a little rainy day thing.
Aww.
Yeah.
Adam?
At one point, Godfrey will try to have a conversation with Zibba. Say, Zibba, I kind of wanted to talk about something that happened in the dream.
Did you get my letter?
Yes. I did get your letter. Would you prefer me to do this correspondence via letter?
I thought that was our thing, but that was fine. We could talk about it.
Okay.
Can I write you a letter about what we talked about afterwards? Like, get your paper out?
Yes, but I'd like you to reflect on what we've said and then write me a letter about it afterwards.
Okay.
When we first met Zazriel, when we were trying to get to him, you had Arudi throw you, and then you stabbed Zazriel. I'm just curious to know why you did that.
Was this 2 days ago? Or was it yesterday?
For you, it feels like it was like 3.5 days ago.
That's a memory draw right there.
But really, it was like 7 days ago.
Okay, well, this is Zibba trying to remember a conversation that happened 3 to 7 days ago. Yeah, I was talking to Arudi because I was much farther away than you guys. And I think I was asking him about champions and why we should help him. And he said he didn't have any champions, and you were Nyx's champion. And I asked him something. It was important what he said. It was like, we treat his champions well so they didn't get hurt like all those forced to fight in the ring before. I don't remember exactly what he answered, but it was convincing enough that I felt like he deserved someone on his side. And then I really wanted to be thrown, and he felt like he was strong enough. I couldn't have gotten there in time otherwise.
Right. Got it. So your decision to do so was because Arudi made a good argument.
Yes. Also, the man with wings didn't seem to be very cooperative. He wasn't responding.
He seemed very hurt.
But we had to break him out. He was trapped. Not hurt, he was trapped.
My whole reason for bringing this up, because that action seemed a little bit reckless. Seems like you made that decision very quickly. And then we all reacted to the consequences of it. It didn't turn out bad. We all made it out safe. For the most part. Know that sometimes reckless actions will lead to us not getting out safe.
I guess I didn't know at the time, but he wasn't a good person. Neither of them are good people. I was trying to realize no one's a good person. And I thought at first, bad people, sometimes you have to hurt bad people, because that's the only way, or they'll hurt you. And, well, we'd read the journals. He had done some bad things. Why wouldn't we attack him?
Do you remember the cult that we came up into? Where we found your friend?
And I questioned that at the time. I didn't want to hurt them. I felt bad about it, but everyone seemed to have brushed it off. We just moved on. So, figured, I guess, it doesn't matter that much. As long as you're okay.
Sometimes it's better to take the extra time to know for sure.
Then why did no one? I asked. But we didn't have time.
Mhm.
Should we go back and do we need to face the consequences of our actions there, like all these gods are?
I'd like you to write your letter to me about this, and ask yourself those questions in the writing.
But if we do that, who's gonna go see Siera? Okay, I'll think about it. I'm sorry. I'll try not
don't
to
need
be
to
as reckless in the
apologize.
future.
Sometimes it's a good thing to have someone who is reckless. Just about finding the right time to be reckless and the right time to think about things.
Okay. You're not mad, right?
No.
I'll try to do better.
Godfrey will pat you on the shoulder and then disappear.
That is it. Thank you so much for listening, for watching, for tuning in week after week. Or if you're new here, you came at the right place, the start of a new arc. We're just heading back home. Intro and outro by Nolan Clock. Everything else by myself and the cast. I hope you have a really great day. Bye.